Hello and welcome to another episode of Cards Unbarred. My name's Ryan, and in this video, I'm going to teach you the 3 to 5 player trick-taking game, the Icarus Club, designed by Hugh Game. The components in the Icarus Club consists of 55 playing cards, numbered 1 through 11 in 5 suits, red, pink, blue, black, and green, which represent the 5 different casino games, roulette, craps, poker, blackjack, and slots. When playing a 3-player game, you will remove 1 suit numbered 1 through 11, so you have 44 playing cards. While playing a 4 and 5-player game, you will use all 55 playing cards. In this video, we'll be setting up for a 4-player game, so we will use all 55 playing cards. To set up for Icarus Club, first shuffle the main playing card deck and deal 11 cards to each player, as well as 1 additional pile. So in a 4-player game, you will be dealing 5 piles of 11 cards each. In a 3-player game, you'll be dealing 4 piles of 11 cards each. However, in a 5-player game, you will deal 6 piles of 9 cards each, and this will leave 1 card remaining that is undealt. Keep that card face down off to the side. You will use it for next round, but it will not be used in this round. The extra cards that were not dealt to any players are known as the lane cards. Without reordering those cards, flip them over one at a time so that they are in a row in the middle of the table. Once you have done that, it should look something like this. The numbers on these cards are no longer important for trick play, however their suits are what will matter. And now that we are all set up, we are ready to begin trick play. To begin the game, first randomly determine a start player. Icarus Club is a must-follow trick-taking game. However, instead of following the lead suit of what the lead player normally plays, in this game you're paying attention to the lane cards and what suit they have. So for the trick that you're on, which we always go left to right, you will have to play a card that matches that suit. So in this case, the pink or the crap suit is what everyone must play from their hand if they have that suit. So looking at the player down here, they have a 4, 5, and 11, so they must play one of those cards. On the second trick, they'd have to play blue, third trick blue, fourth trick green, all the way down through all the tricks. Now, those will potentially change throughout the round, which I'll get to shortly, but for now, pink is what we're focusing on. So the player down here will need to choose any one of the cards. Maybe they go ahead and play that card. Then we go in clockwise order to the next player, looking at their hand and also deciding which card to play if it matches that suit, which they have 2, so they'll play the 3 here. Heading over to the next player, looking at their hand, they have a 7 and a 10, so they'll decide to play the 7. And lastly, this player here only has a 1 and a 6, so they will decide to play the 1 actually. Now, once everyone's played a card, you need to see who played the highest card of the lead suit. In this case, the pink suit, which is the 11 over here. This player will collect some of the cards, but before they do that, they will take one of the cards that was played into the trick and choose to place it over top of any one of the cards in the lane, except for the trick that you just played. So this player down here will choose any one of the 4 cards and place it on top of these. When you do this, you can cover up any card. It can be a card of a different suit or of the same suit. It is completely your choice. And again, the numbers no longer matter when you're covering these up. So picking the 11 versus the 3 versus the 1 means nothing. It's just the suit that you're focusing on. In this case, all 4 cards have the same suit, so it really doesn't matter what card they pick. Maybe they decide to place it over top of that card. Now they take all of the other cards played in the trick, as well as the card from the lane on the trick they were on, and place them face down in front of them to count as their score at the end of the round. Every card you get is going to be worth 1 point. The winner of the trick will now lead the next trick, but remember, this suit used to be blue, it's now pink because this person covered that up. So now when looking at their hand, they must play a pink card and not a blue card. When the winner wins this trick, though, they will take all cards from the lane under there, which is going to be worth more points, but it's changing what suit you must lead with. So if this player actually preferred blue, they might have wanted to cover it up down the lane further on. But in this case, they decided to play that pink. Again, looking at their hand, they have some pink cards, so they'll play this. Heading to the next player in clockwise order, they have that pink 8. Moving right along, we come over here with a pink 10. And then finally, the pink 6. Now, as you noticed, most of those players, that was their last pink card. So I'm going to cover up the next trick with pink, just so you can see what happens when you can't play a card of lead suit. But for now, we need to see this player has won the trick. They pick any card. They're going to cover this up. Whether it makes sense or not, they might want to do it later. But again, I'm going to do that just for explaining purposes. They take all cards from this lane, as well as all cards played in the trick, and collect them face down in front of them, and lead the next trick. So what happens when you don't have the suit that matches the color of the card you must lead with? Well, in that case, you can play any card you want, but it will not win the trick. Doesn't matter the number, and if all players play off suit, then no one will win the trick. So let's just see this player over here, looking at their hand and what else is left. Maybe they decide to play this red so they can be out of reds if that is a problem later. So they'll play a red 6. And again, that suit doesn't matter for everyone else following. They're still following the pink suit. So looking at their hand, they don't have pink. They're not forced to play red because they're only worried about that being lead. So they can play anything they want. Maybe they decide to play this 9 black. Moving to the next player, they do have a 5 pink. And the last player also has no pink cards. And maybe they decide to play that blue 4. So the winner of the trick is the only person who played pink, which is this 5. So now they have a choice of 4 different suits in this case, black, blue, red, or pink, to place over one of the lane cards. So they're going to collect these 2 as well as the 3 from the trick, but maybe they want to put black later down there. So they collect the rest of the cards and put them in their stack, and we'll lead the next trick going with green. And now just to clarify, if all players could not play a card that matches this suit, then all cards get discarded and nobody earns it, and the person who led the previous trick just leads again. So if no one had green, all 4 cards in the trick along with this card get discarded, and now you're playing off of pink being the lead suit. Tricks will continue like this until all 11 have been played, or in a 5-player game, 9 tricks. And then all players will count up the number of cards they collected. The player who's collected the most cards will actually score 0 points for the round. You've essentially been doing too much gambling or cheating probably, and the house was not happy with that, so they stripped you of all of your earnings. But every other player will count up the amount of points they scored, and you will play number of rounds equal to the number of players. To start a new round, you'd collect all cards, shuffle them all together, and re-deal them out according to your player count. And at the end of all of those rounds, the player who has the most amount of points is ejected from the casino and is eliminated from the game for scoring. And the player who has the most amount of points remaining wins instead. If multiple players have the highest score, then all players will be ejected, and whoever has the most amount of points remaining wins. Otherwise, that's everything you need to know to play the Icarus Club. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Thanks so much for watching.